Welcome to the worm. Things are about to get, I don't even know how to label it, very different for me around here. I'm sure the majority of you know that it's been a little over 4 years now that I've been living out here in the woods, and over time, with the help of a chainsaw mill and a lot of calories, built myself a cabin. Nice little shower over there, workshop, a lean-to, car garage, ATV garage rather, and we're working on a kitchen. But I'd say 90% of my time I've spent alone out here for the last 4 years, and I absolutely love it. I love being alone. I love having every single day, regardless of the weather, to wake up and just see what you feel like doing. It took a few years, actually it took until the cabin was finished, and you guys remember the floor was finished. I was considering getting myself a puppy last year, but I wanted it to be in the springtime, so I had the spring to let the dog be outside most all the time, train him, house train him. You've got the hours of the day with the sunshine, so we can be outside. He can be outside with me all the time. Would have been a little bit of a challenge to have a new puppy here in the winter where it's dark at, I don't know, 4 o'clock. And then you've got a wound up little dog inside for however many dark hours there are. So I tried to do this last year this time, and I just couldn't get the cabin done. And by the time it was completely done, we were getting past the springtime into the summertime, and then the dog I thought I was gonna get, I didn't end up getting my fingers on. But this time, it's happening. It's happening in 1 week. I go to pick him up. He'll be 8 weeks old, a Bernese puppy, Bernese mountain dog. I suppose it's possible that there's a cuter puppy out there, but I can't really imagine what it would look like. If you guys saw last week's video, Sarah and Tito and I had a little bit of a party up on the sky deck and watched the eclipse. But now that they're gone, I've got some rearranging and some cleaning to do, and then I gotta get the cabin ready, get my life ready for this dog. I'd like to have one area that's not mud. There's so much mud this time of year. I don't know how big this dog's gonna be. Its parents are both about 130 pounds. They are very large, amazingly sweet teddy bears, but they are furry, and he's gonna get so dirty all the time. And the one little thing I can do, I think, is just make a little area here that for the time being might cut down on the muddy dog syndrome just a titch. One thing that's, I don't think, is not gonna change about me being out here is I'm still going to spend a good chunk of the year in a tent, and the dog will sleep in the tent with me. We still got the cabin, can work on my videos, hang out in the evening, although if the bugs aren't bad, I'd rather hang out outside. But most of the nights right now are still well below freezing, so we'll be staying in the cabin for a little bit, and I am going to crate train the dog because it's such a small space. If you haven't been following along for the last 4+ years, don't feel bad about 100+ pound dog living in a less than 200-foot cabin, because this is his yard. I mean, just have a look around. There is plenty of space to roam and play and eat sticks and chase balls. The cabin and the tent are just for sleeping, that's it. Oh yeah, and again, if you've been watching the videos for a while, you know the dog's only going to be crate trained for a short amount of time. And I plan to take a chainsaw to the side of the cabin right here, cut a hole, and build on a big old custom doghouse to the cabin. If you're curious about the plans for that, I'll put a link here to the video that Sarah and I made. Threw out a bunch of ideas, and I think we came up with a pretty fantastic plan for this thing. This last weekend, when Tito was here, we did a lot of laps around the property, and you know, all the places I've cut trees and built stuff, inevitably there's building materials that get left behind. There's poles, or there's logs, or there's branches, like right here. When we cleared out this whole hillside for the kitchen, remember this big pine tree here fell down. We used most of the lumber, the framing lumber for the kitchen floor is made out of that. And I just noticed we still have a pile of branches there. Somewhere there's another pile underneath that log, and a nice 6-foot pine log we could use for something. Maybe the doghouse. Got more branches here. Oh man, there's so many branches. This was the busted tree that we just cut down 2 weeks ago. Those were the cedar logs that we chainsaw milled up to finish the cedar flooring on the kitchen. This is all the straightest stuff. already with the little nubs clipped off, so it'll feed right through the chipper. I don't know if you can see the difference, but these are pine limbs, these are cedar limbs, and pine makes as good a wood chips as anything, but you don't really want a furry dog laying in them because there's so much sap in that stuff. So we'll, oh yeah, as I say that, just touching it, I'm already sticky. So we'll have to separate those branches out, chip the cedar over there, and we'll chip the pine somewhere else, maybe just blow it on one of the trails. Oh, why did I touch anything without gloves on? So we'll cover the front yard here in probably a foot of wood chips. That'll be great. I was also considering making a fence around here just so there's a little tiny fenced in yard. I don't know if there's any reason to do that. I mean, I guess the dog could run away. I kind of doubt that's going to happen, but I mean, where's he going to go? So we'll see. We'll see if we got time to work on that or not, or even decide if we need it. I think in the Eclipse video, you saw Sarah making that rug for me. She got it finished up. Check this out. Oh, so sticky. The temperature around here can swing so wildly that sometimes you think this is absolutely necessary, and then sometimes I think I'm just gonna have to store it for the rest of the year. God, that thing's heavy. Oops, I guess it's upside down. She didn't have time to tuck the tails in. That is, I believe, 70 t-shirts right there, all cut into strips and woven together. Oh, see? Don't you just want to lay here with a little fur ball? I sure do. We'll have to try to decide if it's more likely that a puppy can just lay on this and not be on the cold floor all the time he's in here, or if this is just going to be something that's going to soak up pee. I have no idea. But I know if I was 8 weeks old, I wouldn't want to lay on this floor in the winter. So after Sarah and I went and saw the puppy this last weekend, we went to Tractor Supply and went to their pet section and bought hopefully everything you need to bring a small crazy fur ball home with you. We did get a crate. I think we can set it up, fit it right in here. Got a bed for it, we got toys, we got dog food. So after we get the yard done, we'll bring all that load of stuff in here and try to get it all set up. We are going to need some place for the dog food bin and for all the dog toys and such. So I think the weather's warm enough right now. We can get all my shower water out from underneath the bunk, and then that's a ton of storage underneath there. I've been thinking about getting a Berner for maybe 20 years, and I was always just a little apprehensive. I've always really valued living a life where you have the option to just say, yep, I want to go do that right now. I want to go canoe down that river for a month and I'm going to go tomorrow. But clearly something's changed. I mean, I've been out here for years and I don't want to leave. So it's just time for a new chapter. This is going to be sweet. It's going to be so fun. Can you feel it? It's going to be awesome. So let's get our saw stuff on. Oh, I forgot. This isn't, this isn't rated X. You look away. Look away. I mean, I'm down with this channel being rated X. Actually, I don't know if you could sell an adult show with ringworm in the title. Probably wouldn't go over very well. It's gonna be a lot of wood chips. Maybe we want to wood chip this whole area. I just remembered why I didn't shoot all those wood chips up here already. There's this big old low spot, like a crater right here, that when it rains hard, this turns into a lake. And I was hoping at some point I'd end up getting some more fill dirt. You know, the super cheapo garbagey stuff that I've used to fill ruts on the trails once they're deep enough that you bottom out your four-wheeler just driving through. I'd like to flatten this out a little bit just so it's not a lake. I guess just filling it up to flat with wood chips isn't... No, I've done that before. It looks like, oh, it's flattened out fine. You walk on it, it feels good, and then it rains and everything just floats and runs off. Well, we don't have any options. We're doing it. let this be a lesson to you. You got to move a chipper 200 feet. It's faster just to pull it, but it's more fun to drag it behind a four-wheeler. Take the time, drag it, have a good time. I guess we'll just clean this out right up to the tree line there. Make it a real suburban yard. Man, I'd love to be able to rip this huge root ball out of here. I don't think that's gonna happen. Be a good place for a little picnic table, little sitting area. Oh, it'd be nice if this was gravel or something under here too, because these things never sit flat. Well, if we want to make another tattoo machine box, we've got the colored wood for it. Isn't that cool? I think it's a little bit different green than the one we powderized to put in that box. Leave it up against a tree here. Let it dry out for a future project. I guess we checked the pine. Well, I was just going to wrap a strap around all these bundles and drag them. Maybe if it'd be easier just to use the trailer so I can back it right up to the chipper. Let's see if we can keep our record up. It's like the cheapest chipper you can buy, and it's always started pretty much on the first pull, as long as you put enough weight into it. Don't make me look bad now. Wow, I'm gonna have a lot of wood chips. This is great. That's only 3 loads of branches and the hole's completely filled in. Just about level. And this trailer pulls all good size ones. Well, that's more than I need, but I'm kind of having fun, so let's go find some more piles. I think I recall seeing a couple bundles down this trail here somewhere. Ah, yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Ah, more down here too. Not a lot, but some. We'll get rid of them. Still more back there, and look at all the building logs. This is what we cleared out for the rifle range. Branches, more logs that you could build with, Tito can build with, and still more over here. There are some weird ones in that pile, some nice curvy stuff. We'll find a use for them. Jeez, doesn't that kind of make you want to shoot? if we weren't about to run out of sunny days before I got to pick up the dog, we'd call it quits for the day and do some plinking. Alas, we must be responsible. Wow, it actually looks different over there with that big hole filled in. Ooh, look at that. That's a good walkway rock. Let's set that aside. Might need some stepping stones. God, this place is getting fancy. I keep forgetting about this old, twisty, half dead, half live log that's been here since year one, and I've been leaving it there until I find the right countertop to build with it. I think this kitchen build might be the thing. Probably should have got it off the ground about 3 years ago. I don't know, maybe I should landscape this whole area. It's kind of fun. We don't need to plant grass or anything, but it's kind of nice to clean up the sticks and get rid of the mud holes. Oh, you know what I just thought of? I just put the solar panels out a couple days ago. The sun's just about high enough that for a couple hours of the day I think we'll get some juice. Might as well plug it in for a minute. Feels so good every year to get these out. Don't have to run a generator, use gasoline, have the noise. Yeah, the sun goes a yard away, so we'll clear it, yeah, for maybe a couple hours there. This is the Jackery that you can only plug 2 panels into. I think it charges 250 watts total. Oh, I guess I need the adapters. But it's a good one to just trickle charge all day. It's kind of too bad you always have to be using adapters and adapters on adapters to get these different batteries to charge. But I ain't complaining. These Jackeries have been freaking great. Quite significantly easier than using a big old car battery and an inverter all the time. Yeah, we're getting 160 watts. That's good. We already got 58% charge. I bet we'll get most of it charged today in the few hours we have. I just ran the generator yesterday because after Sarah and Tito were here, you know, we used a lot of power with 3 people. And I run the generator long enough to charge all my Ryobi batteries, the big Jackery, my Bluetooth speaker, and whatever else is laying around. But by the time that's all done, it's usually like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if everything's quite dead. And in that time, you can only get that Jackery up. I mean, you might be able to charge it 30% or something just because it doesn't take that much sauce. So I much prefer to charge that battery on solar because I'm not going to just run that generator on idle for I don't know how long it would take if it was dead, 8 hours or 10 hours or something. Probably not good for the generator either to do that. You know what we got to do real quick, like? I've been putting off making a foot for this thing. I've been propping it up with scraps since I bought the thing. Actually, when I had the old generator, I was doing the same thing. Just need like a little box for it to sit on, and then I can prop the box up to even it out. So I start the thing, let it run for an hour, I come back out and it's falling off the blocks, almost turned on its side. Let's just see what we got for scraps. Maybe some 1.5-inch junk. Anybody remember what the permanent marker X's were for on this? I feel like maybe I was using it for a table on top of the sawhorses. There's another 1.5 by piece. Some more nice big chunks of pine. All right, I know you didn't tune in to watch me go through my wood pile. Wow, what the heck, ain't this made in Bamerica? I think every company should be forced to use the measuring system that makes no sense. What is that, 12 3/4? What kind of measurement is that? Gosh. What the hey, that one's 12. 12 by 12 3/4. I think it's just great that we all just tear each other apart on political and social issues, but can we please just come together on this one thing and switch to the metric system? Please, I'm begging you. I mean, does anybody even know what 3/30 seconds means, or 7/64? They're just numbers. In case you're wondering what I'm listening to today, I found a couple of good dog training YouTube channels. So I'm not watching them, but I'm just listening to the audio. It's kind of fun. One of them I found I'm listening to right now is just trainers sitting in front of a camera asking questions, so you don't really need to see the video. If you're interested, I'll tell you what the name of it is. McCann Dog Training, MCCANN, all one word, dog training. They do have some great puppy training videos, but this is, I think these were like their live. You'd think somebody that does YouTube sort of for a living would know how this works. I don't know how it works. I think these are like old live streams. Can you live stream on YouTube? So they're not actually interacting with dogs. I know, I shouldn't even be allowed to have this camera. Oh, check out these big old pieces of pine. I think, yeah, it's got a flat edge on one side and a live edge on the other. So I think these are the leftovers from the floor joists of the kitchen. They're pretty giant. Maybe they're actually the frame. I think it's probably the frame. I guess all we need is a box. 18, 12. That'd leave us 3 on each side. I think that'll work. Let's just rip these up. As I'm doing this, I'm realizing that I got sidetracked. This is supposed to be getting ready for puppy day. I guess puppies don't want their generators to tip over, do they? Huh. You know how I start projects and I have no idea what exactly I'm doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I guess this is just going to be a square? Yeah, that's not very well thought through. You didn't see that, did you? No, good. So I randomly picked 4 inches wide. I cut them the length of the boards. I just squared off the end of that. So they're 18 long. What if we just make a box like that? Does that do the whole thing for us? That's got to be, the feet are 12. Oh yeah, it's way too big. Plenty big. I mean plenty big, not way too big. 12.5. Yeah, that's too big. Gonna have to shrink it in a little bit. It's really, really important that you plan ahead. I mean, really important. I do feel like if you plan something like this ahead of time, then there's no sense in building it. Not that there's no sense, there's no fun in building it. You already did all the figure and then you're just going through the steps. You got to screw it up a little bit first, get ahead of yourself, and then try to work backwards. Just thinking this is a good opportunity to use my favorite bit. This adjustable one that just hogs it out, but it really tears the wood up. And you end up with a nice hole, but you've got this hole going into the hole and then also this score mark around the outside. So maybe we should just router these out. That's the center. And then how big are the feet? Anybody remember? I don't. Let's go 2. How deep do we need it? It's about exactly that much, I think. Might be a little excessive. Probably 16 screws isn't necessary. Uh-oh, 2.5. Yes, we got the right size outdoor screws. Let's make sure that fits. Jeez, look at all these nice wood chips. Oh my gosh. Let's see, did it fit? Oh, it's in there. Did not need to route those holes quite so big, but that's fine. It's not gonna rattle out. You know what would be perfect for this is one of those concrete pads. Well, I noticed the sun's getting a little bit lower, so I probably better not screw with it anymore today. I guess that's it. I was planning on using these scraps to make a box that's set up a little bit higher, but this is not generator stand day. I think I better just quit. Somebody still has to move it back over here though. On the wood chips? I don't know. That wasn't too bad. This generator cover we made was a little bit big anyway. So, yep, goes right down to the ground like it was meant to be. Well, the panels are already back to full shade. Let's see if we got any charge. 96%. All right. That is a free 50% battery charge. Do you ever stop for a minute and think about how much energy the sun is putting out? This is a pretty big chunk of solar panels for being portable. I don't know what it is, maybe 8 feet by 8 feet. But think of that square compared to the size of the entire Earth. It's nothing, right? And then you think of all that radiation going out from the sun and think of how little of that actually hits the Earth. Like 93 million miles away. There's all that energy going in every direction. The tiniest bit hits the Earth, and the tiniest bit of that actually hits your solar panels. And it's enough to run your computer and charge your drill batteries for like 2-3 days right there. It's the kind of nerdy stuff I think about all day long. There's a good chance I have these same thoughts and make these same comments every single year at this time. Can't help it. My brain's a little repetitive, you know? If you want to watch these videos, you're going to have to deal with it. That's if I actually said that the last few years. If I didn't, then just ignore this part. Oh, hey, you want to see something cool? I've been thinking about this ever since I made the coffee table, kind of finished it. You know, added all the snack bins on the side and everything. I was really enjoying continuing to add to that every month or so, put something else on. And I'm almost out of ideas and space, but there was one more thing I thought would be kind of cool to have on there. It's got that 4-to-1 pulley system, but because there are like 15 or 20 pulleys in the whole system, it's actually still kind of hard to pull down. Got myself a little tiny sailboat winch. I'm gonna probably have to put a block on the wall, and then you can wrap the line, put the handle in, and crank the thing up. This was the cheapest used winch I could find online. I think it was like 35 or 40 bucks or something. And then of course the handle was almost that much. So it's a pretty big investment here. The size of it is totally fine for what I'm doing, but it has no gears. A lot of times, like the bigger sailboat winches, you might go one direction and it'll pull at like 2-to-1, and then you'll switch to the other direction and it'll go 4-to-1. And either way you crank, it's still pulling the line the same direction. This, no gears. Just every revolution the thing turns around once. So I think it's still going to take some pretty serious arm strong to get that thing up, but we'll try it. You know, if it doesn't work, we'll find a different use for this, and I'll keep looking online Find a real cheap 2-to-1 or 4-to-1 winch. Since the four-wheeler's still out and the trailer's hooked up, let's use that to get the water out of the cabin, eh? Maybe there won't be as much garbage stuck on my boots with these wood chips here too. Guess if it works for dog paws, it ought to work for boots. Oh, I love having everything fully charged. It feels so good. I especially like it when there's a day or two of big wind and rain coming. Then I don't have to worry about whether or not I have enough battery power to edit a video or recharge my tattoo machine battery. I don't think it's quite late enough in the year to put the water in the water tower. I think there's still a good chance the hoses would freeze or the fittings or something and it'd blow out. So we'll just go stack these in the shower. I really like me a good slippery floor. Just too bad I don't think it's too good for dogs. Something tells me I'm gonna have to fish a dog out of back there every now and then. At least for the first, 4 to 6 weeks until he's too big to fit back there. I was gonna say fat. You don't want to fat shame a dog. Fluffy. He's gonna be fluffy and large. I know I flashed a couple pictures in the last video or the one before just really quick as kind of a tease. But I don't know if I showed you a picture of the father of the dog that I'm getting. He's awesome. And I guess best guess is my dog's gonna look something like that in about a year. Gonna have to put the screens back in the windows pretty soon. And then we're gonna get a foot and a half of snow the day I do it. But in Michigan, it's normal to use both at the same time, a snow shovel and window screens. You wanna know what I learned today from my listening? We gotta make a house line for the puppy, which is basically just like you could take a leash and cut the loop off the end, or just use not a string, but a thin rope. The puppy just trails it behind him. Actually makes a lot of sense. So if your dog's doing something you don't want to, you don't have to chase after him. Sometimes like dogs think it's a game and they run away. But especially in a little tiny place like this, that line is always somewhere where you can reach it. I like it. I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm certainly not going to buy something like that. We'll go look through the lean-to and see what we can make up. I really want to pump it up into the water tower right now. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. And my memory card's full. I guess we're done for the day. What am I doing? Guess while I'm here, I ought to spark up the chow chow. Quick, the rain's coming. Tito's bringing me a dog food container in the next day or two. Where are we gonna put this? Well, can't be outside, right? I felt like we bought the whole store, Sarah and I, when we went, but there's not really that much stuff. All it takes is a medium-sized cage and a bunch of wood chips to own a dog, I guess. Before we hole up in there for the rain, let's see if we can find something to make a quick little house line. Got a doggy pen. It's extremely dirty. Maybe this would work. Look at that. Perfect length. It's like 8 feet. Little piece of webbing. Now, I thought I had the actual clips for dog leashes. Well, oh, look at that. You never know what you'll find on the lean-to. Ooh, is this a bowline or a figure 8 or a barrel knot? It's probably a figure 8, isn't it? Very good, very strong knot. Perfect. Just beat the rain. Starting to get sprinkled on. Yep, somebody drove too fast with this in the trailer. It's all muddy. Oh, this is perfect size, actually. I couldn't figure out what size do you get for a small puppy that's going to be a huge dog. I think this is 36. Did I get 36? And it has a divider in it, so you don't want to have the cage too big because the dog will go to the bathroom in there. You want it to be nice and cozy, and then as time goes on, you can scoot the divider back. And then, hopefully, definitely, by the time he outgrows this, we'll have the doghouse built, and we won't have to use this anymore. Oh, I like a nice fold-out design. Look at that. Somebody thought that through. Here's the divider. Dude, what a cool design. Not bad for 60 bucks or whatever it was. And this should be the right size. Yep, fold in half. Oh, you know what might be cool? I just noticed this thing has a side door too. I can move all those water jugs. Oh, that's like a perfect fit. So I was going to hang something over the top of this to kind of make it like a cave in there for him. Let's do that. Let's put it back there. There, he actually gets some extra room too, so I can get some exercise, do pull-ups on here or whatnot. Not that this is a jail. Kind of a jail. That was meant to be. And you'd think it'd be good that he's near the heater, but you can see fire through this thing. You can see the propane burning, but no heat comes out of that. It all goes up, so we might have to put a little fan up there or something. Let's see what we got in the shopping bag. Sarah says I need these. I totally believe her. She's the one with dogs. I haven't had a puppy in 1 or 2 decades, but I am determined to not need these training pads, the little pee pads for the ground. We're gonna have 0 accidents, maybe 1, but not 2 or more. We'll see. Got some dog bowls. Sarah picked me all the best stuff. Chewy, we got dog treat sticks. I'm gonna take them, cut them into little pieces, use them for training. Couple of chew bones. More dog treats. And just because it would be funny, I wanted to get the biggest, what is this, a pork femur? They had one that was like 1.5 feet long. If I thought the dog could pick it up, I would have got it. Just because how cute and funny would it be to see a tiny little puppy carrying around a huge bone. Collar, leash. If you got a dog, you gotta have a Kong. Nail trimmers, 2 brushes, and some shampoo. Is that all you need? Oh yeah, and a couple balls. Teach them how to play fetch. Hopefully we didn't forget anything, who knows. If they're wild dogs, like a wolf, does a wolf need all this stuff? I can't remember. They probably do. Wolves look so nice and clean. I bet they have shampoo. Oh, that's what these are, not treats. They're little chunks that go inside the Kong, so they gotta work at it. I'm ready, right? I'm ready. I think there should be one more opportunity here to say the deepest thank you to everybody on Patreon, the folks that allow me to stay out here and do this crazy stuff. Thanks for all the dog toys. 230 bucks, including the cage, for hopefully everything I need. No flavor. Or is there? I guess humans do eat way too much salt. It needs salt. I don't know, maybe puppies don't have taste buds. Actually, the aftertaste is pretty good, comparatively. Here's the trick. Put it in an old granola bag. Give them a little extra flavor. Does it fit? Yep. Perfect. I had to bring my other summer sleeping bag here. I like it about 50 degrees when I sleep, but I gotta admit that if I was laying on the floor and I didn't have down on me, I'd be pretty cold. So I'm gonna switch out to a warmer weather sleeping bag and then leave the heat on a little bit. He deserves it, you know, for a few weeks anyway. The storm hath passed. We got a lot more down trees now. This one that I've been looking at, Tito and I both been looking at, we thought was gonna hit the kitchen. This stick right here, it was just all of a sudden, the last couple weeks it's been leaning really hard. I don't have to worry about it now because the top broke off, so it can't reach no more. And then look at these fir trees. Double fir tree just came down. They were apparently perfectly healthy. Not a great spot to land, but we didn't do any damage. They were gusts over 50 for 24 hours, so it was quite a ride. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. Tito's up here. He's gonna do whatever he does. God only knows. And I guess for a lack of other plans, I'm gonna go pick myself up a puppy. See you in a few. Did you want to see him? You can see him. Hi, my name is Kuiper. I'm 8, and I have giant paws. You know, Kuiper, like the Kuiper belt. Come on, get to know your astronomy, people. He loves the four-wheeler. That's not true. He doesn't know what's going on right now. But he is the cuddliest dog I've ever seen, and especially a puppy. I hate to do this to you, but you're gonna have to come back next week. Tito's waiting up there to, well, he's actually met Kuiper, but I think Kuiper needs some food and a nap, as do I, so hope to see you in 7 days. Come back in 7 days and you can see how his first day is out here at the worm. But I mean, come on, look at this dog. He's a freaking teddy bear. All right, thanks for watching. Hey, you could even, I'm not saying you should, but you could subscribe if you want to, or whatever. You can come back and see us. Thanks for watching.